Go down out on the track.
Almost. Up now. Hey.
And the current administration has repeatedly violated the Constitution, namely by occupying the sovereign nation of Iraq and denying them the right to self-determination. And that's why Winter Soldier is so important. The American people have a right to know the sort of things that are happening in their name day in and day out in Iraq. That's why we, as true patriots who love our country, are going to be testifying to the nation about the realities of the occupation in Iraq.
Thank you, patriots.
Thank you.
My name is Toby Hartbarger. I served with the United States Army in Iraq 2003 and 2004. Standing here in this historic place, it brings to mind the soldiers who were here during the winter of 1776, who fought through a deadly winter so they could go on and fight for their freedom. It brings to mind words like patriot, freedom. And I know today, looking behind me, that I'm in the company of true patriots. But you should ask yourself, are you patriots? And are you truly free? How can you call yourself a patriot if you've done nothing to preserve the freedoms that we hold so dear? I feared bullets, I feared bombs, but I never thought I would have to fear losing my basic freedoms. Another word comes to mind, and the word is loyalist. Individuals who blindly remain loyal to a system that continually takes away their freedoms and replaces it with nothing. So, in the spirit of those individuals who fought here so long ago, and the interest of the preservation of this great country, I urge you to fight for your freedom and fight for the right to call yourself a patriot. Thank you.
Speak to you people. In accordance with Army Regulation on Public Affairs 350-8, I must inform you all that the opinions of this speech are those of the author and do not reflect the official policy of the Department of Defense, the United States Army, or the United States government. The reason for that is because I'm an active duty soldier. My name is Sergeant Selena Copa. I'm a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army, and I'm a proud member of Iraq Veterans Against the War.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you.
Iraq Veterans Against the War is a military-minded in certain ways organization. It's made up of military, active duty military, and former service members. People who gave their country good and faithful service, but found that they could continue to give their country faithful service by speaking their mind, by raising their voices with all of their might, to protest, to speak, and to call for the freedoms that they believe in so dear. to be extended, for us to not support this Iraq occupation, but to call for its end, and to call for full and fair treatment of its returning veterans, which is not something that is currently being supported. The American people are good and great. The American people are good and great and support good and great things. And we, Iraq Veterans Against the War, believe that if the American people are allowed to hear those things with their own ears, those things which are not currently being expressed, they too will join with us. And they will join in raising their voices, speak to their elected representatives, as happens in democracy, and to call to truly support the troops to bring them home. In that spirit of true and honest service, Iraq Veterans Against the War is holding an event, Winter Soldier, Iraq and Afghanistan. At that event, service members and veterans will come forward for the first time since Vietnam and raise their voices and tell their stories, their eyewitness accounts. These things have not been spoken before. These things have not been seen by the public before. They have been seen by the soldiers, the Marines, the airmen, and the sailors who serve in this occupation currently. Some of these things may not be pleasant to hear. Some of these things may be uncomfortable for these people to speak about. But they must be said, and they must be heard.
Bring it on, troopers. Thank you. Thank you.
In the interest of that, IVAW is offering to let everyone hear these veteran stories. We'll be streaming live video. It will be going on from March 13th to 16th in close to DC. And we'll be streaming the video on the IVAW website from the 13th to 16th. And we urge you to watch those stories. Listen to those stories. Invite a friend to watch and listen to those stories. And then ask yourself and ask your friends what you can do to help support these troops and bring an end to the war.
My name is Adam Kokesh. I'm a member of the DC chapter of Iraq Veterans Against the War. And to mark the start of the 6th year of the war on March 19th, 2008, we will be at the National Archives at the site of the United States Constitution to reaffirm our oath to support and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And we will be marching in the streets with Veterans for Peace and challenging the administration with the testimony that will be given at Winter Soldier, Iraq and Afghanistan.